Dragon Ball is a series that is very, very simple, but has so much stuff going for it. And one of the stuff that's going for it are the villains in Dragon Ball. They've always been unique and one of a kind, and we've probably never seen anything like them before. Whether it be Kid Buu's unstoppable attitude, his carnage, his insanity, he'll do anything he wants. Whether it be King Piccolo pretty much being the embodiment of evil. Or heck, even Emperor Pilaf's desire for world domination. All these villains have had something going for him. However, while the Dragon Ball villains are really positively received, there are two Dragon Ball villains specifically that people regard as some of the best Dragon Ball villains of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about Perfect Cell and Lord Frieza. This has been a pretty heated debate in the Dragon Ball community, and I figured, you know what, I might as well make a video about it. So in this video, I will be talking about who is a better villain, Cell or Frieza. I won't be talking about who's stronger. Rather, I will be talking about who is a better written villain. There are 5 categories, and the villain that wins the most categories is officially the best Dragon Ball villain of all time. I will try to be as unbiased as possible, but I do want to say something. Cell is my favorite villain, but we're not talking about opinions here. We're going to talk about which is better written. So let's get started. Round 1. Who was the most sadistic? When we're talking sadistic, we're talking about pretty much the most insane and the most, craziest villain you'll see. This villain is kind of a psychopath. Sadistic is just like a word that means a lot. The meaning of sadistic is deriving pleasure from inflicting pain, suffering, or humiliation on others. An example of another sadistic villain would be the Joker from the Batman franchise. He doesn't care about anything, and he enjoys watching the harm of others, which makes him even more insane. But the question is, out of Frieza and Cell, who is the more sadistic? When Cell gave Gohan that bear hug, Cell was laughing like an insane monster. Okay, that was a horrible Cell impression, but you get the gist. Cell is a monster. He'll laugh. He enjoys suffering of others. Frieza, on the other hand, is just that, but 10 times more insane. Let me explain why. When Vegeta was being tortured horribly by Frieza, Frieza didn't care. He laughed. He smiled. At that moment, we realized, oh gosh, Frieza, you do not want to mess with him. He's a total psychopath, and you don't even want to go 10 feet within his range. Not only that, but he laughed when Planet Vegeta, pretty much, the members of Planet Vegeta were his slaves, essentially. And he just pretty much decides to kill his servants, essentially, and just laughed. That's why Frieza easily takes this round. So sorry Cell, but Frieza is 10 times more sadistic. Frieza wins round 1. Round 2, the motivation. Pretty much the definition of motivation is the general desire or willingness of someone to do something, or the reasons someone acts that way. Frieza, I gotta be honest with you, Frieza's motivation was honestly pretty much just evil for the sake of being evil. One of my favorite YouTubers, Hail Zeon, said this in pretty much his Dragon Ball villains are what tier? Meaning that most of the Dragon Ball villains don't really have a motivation. I kind of agreed with him on Frieza, because Frieza's only real purpose for being evil was evil for the sake of being evil, and he had all this power. I mean, I guess his father was a bad person and that kind of motivated him, but then again, why would Frieza's father just influence him that much? It doesn't make sense. Frieza's really just evil for the sake of being evil, and there's really kind of no purpose. Cell, on the other hand, is a little different. I gotta be honest, this Dragon Ball villain's motivation / tier isn't that great, to be honest. But it is very interesting, to say the least, with Cell. Cell was just created to be perfect. Cell was created to be the perfect life form, and well, of course, he was, evil for the sake of being evil. It was still really interesting to see what the crazy things Cell would do just for perfection. And what I really think is very interesting about this is the part where he was imperfect and semi-perfect. And when he was in his perfect form, yeah, that's kind of where he had the evil for the sake of being evil Dragon Ball stereotype. But when we saw him wanting the desire, the actually legit, real desire to obtain perfection and be the perfect life form, that's what kind of improved his motivation, and that's why Cell wins this round. Sorry Frieza, but the motivation to be a perfect being is a way better motivation than evil for the sake of being evil. So Cell wins round 2. Round 3, the most resourceful. What it really means to be resourceful is having the ability to find quick and clever ways to overcome difficulties. Frieza was a very, very resourceful villain. Not only did he have all those all those different forms, just when they thought they were getting good with the first form, bam, his second form. When the second form was coming along, boom, they had the third form. And once they had his third form, boom, final form. And guess what? In Resurrection, well, of course, when Frieza came back, boom, Mecha Frieza. When Mecha Frieza didn't exist, boom, in Resurrection F, Golden Frieza, boom. Frieza had so many tricks up his sleeve. And guess what? When Namek was about to, of course, when Frieza was sick of it and sick of all this, he couldn't handle it anymore. He realized the Goku and the gang is just going to pretty much overpower him. He decided, you know what? I don't care anymore. He decided to blow up Planet Namek as a last resort. He didn't care anymore. Cell, on the other hand, now all of you are probably thinking, whoa, Mr. Ninja Star, those Frieza explanations were fantastic. How can Cell even come close to topping that? Well, let me explain why. Cell has pretty much a big advantage over Frieza, being that he had every single cell of all the Z fighters, meaning he had so many backup plans, but I'm still going to give him this W. Let me explain why. When all hope was lost, when Goku figured, you know what, he's gonna blow himself up, when Cell was about to self-destruct, Goku decided, instant transmission to King Kai's planet. Cell was very resourceful. He didn't just give up there. No, he kept on going. He had instant transmission and the Piccolo regeneration thing up his sleeves. He was very resourceful with that. I doubt Frieza would have even thought of instant transmission. Cell was intelligent. I gotta be honest with you guys. Cell is a much more intelligent villain than Frieza. Cell is probably one of a kind. I don't see any other villain thinking of the idea to use Piccolo's cells, or even remember that Piccolo could regenerate and then suddenly instant transmissioning back to Earth, other than Cell. Cell is much more intelligent, which also makes him much more resourceful. So Cell takes round 3 with a big one. Now on to round 4, the most ruthless. But before someone angrily types in the comments, oh my god, Mr. Ninja Star, that's the exact same thing as number 1. Why are you being so biased here? Well, let me explain why. Ruthless and sadistic are two totally different definitions. Sadistic means they enjoy watching the pain of others. Ruthless means having no pity, or no caring, or no compassion towards others. I gotta be honest with you guys, this one is actually pretty close. Cell only cares about himself. I mean, I guess you could count the Cell Juniors as one, but even then, he still only cares about himself. He didn't care about others, he just cared about himself. He wouldn't care if the entire Earth was destroyed, he only cares about himself. And no matter what it takes, he will get that strive to be perfect. Now let's move on to Frieza. Frieza had no compassion or appreciation for anyone else. He didn't even care about his own henchmen, to be honest. The planet and the people that pretty much helped him in the first place be so powerful, he just decides to go and kill them. He doesn't have any respect towards them. And he has a little bit of a bias here because, of course, Cell had no one pretty much to care about, so of course he couldn't care about anyone. Frieza could have easily cared about the Saiyans, but he didn't care. He decided to wipe out their entire race. Cell had no one to care for. Frieza had people he could have cared for, but guess what? He didn't care about them, so easily, Frieza wins round 4. And holy cow, that makes the score 2-2. So let's move on to our final round. Round 5. Who did more horrible things? This final round is really simple, but if you think about it, I haven't really mentioned things at all. I've mostly just talked about what's on in their mind, what their mindset is, but I haven't talked about what they actually do. Both have done crazy things, and I gotta be honest though, this final round, I had a really tough time debating this. Cell and Frieza both did awful things. In fact, it's quite similar really. They both killed a member of the Vegeta family with a death beam. They both killed one character that we all had met and seen. Frieza killed Krillin, and Cell killed Goku. Let me explain something. Cell and Piccolo are the only characters in all of Dragon Ball who've actually killed Goku. All of Cell's achievements are remarkable. They're fantastic. But let's also look at Frieza's achievements. Frieza just pretty much broke down Vegeta, made Vegeta cry, just tortured Vegeta, and Vegeta had done so much for Frieza, and pretty much Frieza just he's like, you know what, I don't care anymore, time to death beam you, and just made Vegeta go down to his knees, start crying, and just pretty much killed Vegeta. And the list goes on. He killed Goku's best friend right in front of them. Whoa, that's a little much. And not just that, I'm gonna keep on going here. If you want, fast forward to Resurrection F. Look, I didn't really like Resurrection F that much, but I'll admit it was a good film. And Frieza destroyed Earth. He didn't care anymore. He destroyed Earth. He didn't even give a damn if he lost his own life. He wanted revenge. He wouldn't care if he lost his own life. He wanted revenge on Goku and Vegeta, and he destroyed Earth. Whoa! Yeah. So that is why Frieza takes round 5, which means Frieza is the best Dragon Ball villain of all time. Now, I said in the beginning of the video that Cell is easily my favorite villain in all of Dragon Ball. And believe me, he still is. And not only is he my favorite villain in all of Dragon Ball, he's my 5th favorite character in Dragon Ball, period. However, this video was meant to be as unbiased as possible, and I will admit that Frieza is a much better written villain, and which is kind of why I made this video. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to drop a like, and we can all discuss this in the comments below. Who knows, this could be a really interesting debate in the community. So anyways guys, thanks so much for watching. Mr. Star 75 out. Have a great day everybody. Peace.